Do you currently have independent contractors in your cleaning business? If you answered yes or are getting ready to launch your cleaning business and you're planning to use subcontractors, make sure to watch this video all the way to the end to avoid getting penalized in 2024. But first, understand that I'm not a legal professional and this is not a legal advice. If you have questions, please make sure that you consult a legal professional in your area. Okay, let's continue. Hola amigos, Cristobal Mondragon here with 7-Figure Cleaners. I own a cleaning company called Bumble Bee Cleaning in Seattle, and I understand the importance of staying compliant when it comes to correctly classifying our cleaners. In fact, many of you already know that when I started, I was fined for misclassifying my cleaners. Up until that point, I had no clue this was even a thing, and that's probably true for many new cleaning business owners out there. But after watching this video, you'll have a better understanding of both contractors and employees, and you'll be informed about the new rule that was just passed that goes into effect on March 11, 2024. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any important updates and grow the strategies that we post for you in the future. Okay, let's dive in. It is helpful to understand why this is a big deal in the first place. Many cleaning business owners typically have a reason as to why they decide to go with contractors over employees, or vice versa. Just in case you're not familiar with the lingo, a contractor tends to go by many different names in the industry. Some simply call them contractors, like others use words like independent contractors, subcontractors, 1099s, or gig workers. They're all referring to the same type of worker. Contractors, just so you know, work with the business, not for the business. On the other side, there are employees. Employees are sometimes referred as to W-2s, and they actually work for the business. In case you're wondering, 1099s and W-2s are just different tax forms that are sent to contractors and employees respectively come tax time. It is best to think of employees as workers for the company and contractors as a separate business that can be hired to work with the company. Employees work for you, and contractors typically have other clients or jobs that they're working but can work with you on certain projects. Now that you have a very basic understanding of the two, let's talk about the historical benefits of working with contractors. In the cleaning industry, many business owners have historically chosen to work with contractors for many reasons. In my experience, working with contractors tends to be most cost-effective for the business and is easier to operate. You simply pay them a percentage of each job and they pick up the jobs whenever they want to work, and you don't have to worry about payroll taxes, workers' compensation insurance, sick pay, and other expenses that come along with employees. The downside has always been control. It can be difficult to control contractors since they are their own business, and legally you aren't supposed to tell them how to do their jobs or provide them with supplies. This was a highly lucrative model for both the company and the contractor. The extra money that would have gone to payroll taxes, workers' comp, was essentially split between the company and the contractor. In my experience, cleaners that were contractors were happy because they controlled their own schedule, picked up whatever jobs they wanted, and were paid way more than they were as a traditional hourly employee. Now, let's go over the new rule and how it changes things. The new Department of Labor rule, which some are referring as the final rule, was passed a few days ago and it goes into effect on March 11 of 2024. This new rule is changing the game in how workers are classified under the Fair Labor Standards Act of FLSA. This new rule replaces the previous 2021 guidelines and is designed to reduce the misclassification of employees as independent contractors. There are key elements to this new rule, so let's cover those now. This new rule introduces a 6-factor test that examines aspects like the potential for profit and loss, the level of investment from both the worker and employer, the permanence of the work relationship, the degree of control of the employer and the work skill initiative. Unlike the past, no single factor is given more weight than the others, making this balanced and comprehensive approach. Let me break down this 6-factor test and clarify each one a little more since this is really important for you to understand. Factor number 1, profit or loss potential. This factor considers if a worker can make more money or lose money based on their work decisions. Factor number 2, investment by worker and employer. This is like comparing who brings more supplies to a project, the worker or the company. It looks at the financial contributions both sides make. Factor number 3, permanence of work relationship. Think of this, how long you're gonna be a sports team. Is it the work relationship more like a full season, or is it gonna be a single game? Factor number 4, degree of control by employer. This factor looks at how much control the employer has over how, where, and when the work is done. Factor number 5, workers' skill and initiative. This factor checks if the worker uses their skills and effort to improve or they just follow instructions. Factor number 6, integral part of employer business. This is like determining if a worker is essential for the business to function. In other words, it checks if the worker's role is the core part of the business. Each factor is equally important in deciding if someone is an employee or a contractor, ensuring fairness. That's what the new rule is all about. As business owners, it is our duty to stay up to date with things like this and adjust accordingly so we can operating or cleaning business. I agree with the initiative of improving the conditions for workers across the US. I am sure there were many instances where contractors were being taken advantage of across numerous industries, not just in the cleaning industry. We should take care of our workers, not abuse them, because without them, I'm sorry muchacho, you don't have a cleaning business. Just remember that. Now, let's recap what we learned. We learned that the Department of Labor recently passed a new rule that aims to change the way workers are classified and provides clarification on who is considered a contractor and who isn't. For cleaning business owners, this is big news. The way you classify your cleaners, whether it's employees or independent contractors, can have significant legal and financial implications. This rule is particularly crucial because it ensures workers get the rights and protections they deserve. Now, you're probably wondering, why do I make all of this? While some will just pick up the facts that we're providing any recommendations or personal opinions, I promise not to do that to you. So here's what I think. I think that this was a long time coming, especially as the gig economy continued to rapidly expand the way it has been for over the past several years. Many cleaning business owners will be forced to change their business model and make a switch from contractors to employees to avoid being penalized for misclassifying the cleaners. Payroll software companies like Gusto will see a spike in sales since more businesses will be forced to use software to manage the complexities that come along with employee payroll. Lastly, and most importantly, I don't think this is a bad thing, and I don't believe that this will hurt your cleaning business if you operate correctly. For context, I always had a mix of employees and contractors in my cleaning company. Now, however, we have completely made the switch to employees and our quality has gone up since we now have more control over our cleaners. To wrap things up, I want to say that staying informed and compliant is your key to success in your business. Remember, this new rule is about to ensuring fair play in the labor market and protecting workers' rights. As a business owner, adapting to these changes is important for your growth and stability. If you found value in this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel while we'll be releasing more content to help you launch and grow your cleaning business. Thanks all for watching. Adios amigos.